Hi, my name is Danica and today I have the Booktube Cat Tag video. This tag was created by Lisa at Shut Your Typeface. I will link her original tag down below, and I was also tagged by Lisa, I assume because my roommate's cat Pants has barged into several of my videos. This is Pants. I just woke him up from a nap. He's not super impressed with me, but to be fair, he sleeps like 15 hours of the day. It's my roommate's cat and he's huge and adorable. He's the best. The first question is Sphinx, a book that has a semi-naked person on the cover, and I'm also going to pick a Sarah Waters book. I'm going to pick Tipping the Velvet by Sarah Waters. This cover is ridiculous because this scene is not in the book at all. It's also not in the BBC adaptation, but I love it. It fits the tone of the book. Next is Maine Coon, a really big book. I chose Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. It's been a while since I read this one, but I loved the writing. I loved just getting immersed in this book. I'm always a sucker for a book with footnotes, especially if it's fictional. If anyone has recommendations of more books like that, let me know. And then there's Calico, a book that's a bit crazy. I don't really like the use of crazy here. If you're talking about intense and over the top, then I want to say The Emperor Mage by Tamora Pierce, which is book 3 of the Immortals series. That book does not hold anything back. It just reaches this point where the main character is just this place of pure righteous rage like I've never seen in a book or any kind of media before, where she's just like, fuck it, I will burn everything to the ground. And that's amazing. If it's supposed to mean just sort of weird and bizarre, I'm going to pick The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. The scripts are really fun for the sound effects alone, where Douglas Adams wrote things like, insert sound effect for alien's eyes changing color and then changing back again. And as a bonus, I'm just going to mention a book that actually deals with mental illness, and that's The Will of the Empress by Tamora Pierce. One of the main characters, Briar, clearly is dealing with PTSD during this book. Next is Bobcat, a book with a wild setting. When I first read this question, I was thinking wild as in weird and extreme. I can't really think of a book that I own that takes place in the wilderness, so I'm just going to go with that interpretation. This is a book that takes place in what I want to describe as a hipster fantasy setting. It's the kind of world where before you go on your epic quest, you stop by the coffee shop and you get a cappuccino that is made with the use of a tiny dragon. And there's Scottish Fold, a book with a cute character, and this question makes me sad because Scottish Folds are super sad. They're one of those examples of animals we should never have bred. The reason that they have those little folds in their ears is because their bones and cartilage is completely messed up, and they usually don't move around very much because they have a lot of pain. So don't get a Scottish Fold. But for my pick, I'm going to very appropriately pick a book that has a cat in it, and that's Falling in Love with Hominids by Nalo Hopkinson. There's an adorable little domestic story in here about a gay couple whose chickens go missing and they have a flying cat. That's adorable. Then there's Kitten, a short story, and I just mentioned a short story, but another one that I really like that I don't have inside of a book is She Unnames Them by Ursula K. Le Guin. I read this for an English class in college, and it was one of the assigned readings that has affected me the most. It's only a couple of pages, you can Google it and read it online, so I don't want to spoil it, but it's about the power of stories and words and names. I found it really powerful. Lastly is Persian, a fluffy book. Boy Meets Boy by David Levithan is my cotton candy book. It's just really cute. It imagines this high school where the star quarterback is also the homecoming queen and the cheerleaders ride out onto the field on motorcycles. The main character has a kindergarten teacher who politely notes in his report card that he is clearly gay. I'm still looking for a lesbian book that's quite as adorable and fluffy as this one. And that's the tag. I don't have anyone specific to tag, but if you have a cat that you can show off on camera, I tag you. You should definitely do this. And thank you for watching. Bye!